right. All praises to our Elohim, to Yahweh Shai, to our earthly mother, wisdom. Tonight, it is a great night. It's a great day. This era, this time period is fantastic. We want to talk about the totality of the eclipse has shown the totality of the Gentiles' end. I want to touch base on some things that are going on today that is very evident in the breaking down of the system of the world, of the Gentiles, and how we apply our manifestations to rebuild, to bring up, to rise, to be part of the nation and the kingdom to come. But first, I want to, give me a second. I'm going to start. Not there. Not there. There we go. We're going to first start here. A little meditation. What's going on? All right, let's turn it down a bit. Let's go. All praises. All right. All praises. Jeff Majors, Psalms 23. Fantastic rendition of it. Fantastic. So, the totality. Let's see. So we just had an eclipse, and in this eclipse, it was a totality. A totality. Let's get with these definitions, because this is the deal. Totality. The whole of something. The whole of something. The whole of the nation of Israel. The whole of ancient Israel. The whole of the nation of Israel. The totality that we are now bringing forth is manifesting very high. The resonance, the echo, the reverb is something that this world has not seen or dealt with or felt in a long time. And all we have done as a people is seek the truth. We've all asked why. And as we've meditated and studied, we've come to the realization of why. The totality of our deeds had to come in. The fullness is the totality. The whole of something is the totality. So, for I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceit, that sleepiness, blindness, in part, is happened to Israel until the totality of the Gentiles be come in. The fullness of the Gentiles be come in. And so the eclipse had the entire nation under its grip. And the people, the nation, the Gentiles, were perplexed and excited at the same time. And in this excitement and perplexion of disarray, they were uneased because they had realized that the totality of everything that they have stood for had come in. Many had never seen an eclipse. Many had never dealt with an eclipse. When they saw it, they were mesmerized by the let me get this word right. The obscuration. The obscuration, which is the action of hiding or concealing a thing. So as they saw this, totality, as they saw this obscuration, what they internally, spiritually realized was that now their hiding and concealing of a thing has now been shown. And we, the people, the nation of Israel, has seen them for who they are. A people who did not have full understanding of much. They have dug in the ground. They go around the world digging in the ground. Bear with me 1 second. They go around digging in the ground, disturbing the dead, the bones. They create myths. Bear with me 1 second. So they go around, they dig in the ground to find the totality of the past. And what does that mean? The totality of the past is us, is things that they have never seen, things that have been hidden. And as they have done this thing for so long, they now are realizing that what they are saying does not make sense, that the totality of their understanding is lack, is left. Matter of fact, it's like Baruch. It's left wanting. They're left wanting. And because of this thing that they have been left wanting of, they've realized since the eclipse that everything has changed. So, you get Stone putting on a this of a Gentile who was trying to break down Psalms 83, and they want to talk about it's a war, like it's a war. And the totality of the war that this guy kept talking about, it couldn't add up to a war in the future. So understandably, they don't know what they're saying, and he's off. But there's so many that are of his congregation that was all about it, but yet they weren't. Like if you hear it, if you go to Stone's thing and you start at hour 1, go to the, skip through everything, go to 1 hour and start listening to his breakdown. When he's trying to bring forth the understanding, a total understanding of Scripture, the people aren't even really about it. So what has happened is that they are in their obscuration, they're hiding and concealing of things. Now the people's spirit, the Gentile spirit, are now realizing that they do not have a total understanding. So as the eclipse, the totality of the eclipse shone, the people's total understanding went to lack. And it's evident, it's very, very clear. And, I'll say this, although they do not have a full understanding, that is our job to provide to them to some degree, only by way of the communication that we have with each other. They have to, and it's funny, there are some, not many, but there are some that are now trying to grasp it. And I feel, and I believe that is why they are trying to do away with TikTok, because not many, but there is a group, there is a wave of Gentile people who are now standing in the gap, all in about who we are. Not to say that matters, because the totality of our understanding is already known to us of who we are. So they can't break that. We know there's no going back. There's no changing the game, changing the narrative. They can't do this. So many of them now are starting to hear. They see their fullness has already come in. Their fullness. What is their fullness? Their fullness is they have given us old white man Joe, dementia, and old white man Trump, Thelonious, a felony. So they've got us with blindness, dementia, and a thief, and a liar, and a corrupted soul. And they're going to say to us, choose. And the totality of us saying we're done choosing, we are no longer choosing the totality or the fullness of what you have, of your product, your system's product. We no longer are choosing to be part of your system's product and fruits. Now they have to stand up and really they have to sink or swim now. They've got to stand up for themselves. They've got to walk themselves this road. And they're struggling with that. But the beautiful thing for us, for me anyway, is that things are just falling into place left and right. Like, as long as I'm doing the will of the Father, as long as I'm paying reverence and honor to Yahweh Shai, as long as now now knowing their earthly mother, the wisdom that it takes to be a family, to be a nation. Now things are just like, I mean, I don't, you know, Sister Pat's talking about, energy. This manifestation that we have brought forth by way of the will of the Father. Matter of fact, this manifestation that the Father has allowed us to bring forth is amazing. And I don't know about everybody, but things are working out more than they've ever worked out for me in my entire existence. Except for when I was younger and playing, soccer and winning. But now I'm winning in a different way. I'm winning all the way around. And that's not a boast. That's not a gloat. That's not me saying, look at me, I'm the greatest. No, that's just me giving reverence to the Father because it's all him. It's all the mother. It's all her. It's all Yahushua. It's all him. This is a spiritual awakening and spiritual warfare at the same time. And the totality of this eclipse has brought forth Iran and fake Israel and fake Iran and 83 trying to usher in their narrative, unbeknownst to themselves that they are ushering in their own demise. So something Sister Pat was saying on Friday, my allergies have been just the only, allergies have been beating me up, but I'm surviving it. But something Sister Pat said the other day was about how Ish and them are going to be kicked out of all the lands. Like nobody's going to want them. And when I was hearing her say that, it made so much sense in terms of the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the Valley of Judgment. And I sat back and I said, "Oh, okay." And I spoke to the Spirit, and the Spirit said, "Valley of Jehoshaphat." And a while ago, I had looked into where a valley could be in Europe that could sustain all the Earth's armies. And I came to the conclusion, based on some due diligence, that the Ukraine, oh my goodness, I can't even pronounce nor recollect the valley, but there's a valley, a massive valley in the Ukraine that could hold and amass all of the nation's armies. Now, why would that be in the Ukraine? Because it only makes sense that Ish is not going to have anywhere to go other than back to its original state, which is Ukraine. I'm going to use Sister Pat's word, dirty t-shirt fellow, is going to be happy to have Ish come back home with their money because he is a whore to money. So he's going to be like, okay, come on back. And from there, they're going to try to, and Ukraine got some military, got all types of weapons that we've given to them. Probably got some nuke capabilities. I'm sure of it. They said Poland was bringing. Poland's going to be. Poland is willing to put nukes in its land, which is sitting, next to Russia's land. So, this Valley of Jehoshaphat has to be Ukraine, the way that they have been pushing everything. And then they go, oh, well, no, that's going to be in the Middle East. No, why would the Father? So all the blood, all the death has come from Europe. All of it. People say, well, Africa had some death in America. Listen, all of the death. This is an absolute, a totality. All has been coming out of Europe. Now this is a massive price that has to be paid. Like all of it. Now, granted, there was some death and, some murder on all these lands. But the imposition of murder has come from Europe. The totality of murder has come from Europe. The totality of the people who created murder, well, yeah, who have created murder has come from Europe. People had to defend themselves to reconcile going against the brutes. There was a documentary a couple years ago. It was Exterminate the Brutes. And it talked about how Europeans came over in such a brutish way, came over to the Americas in such a brutish way that payment has to be like that. That is a massive price, and they don't want to pay for it. And rightfully so. They don't want to pay for it. I wouldn't want to pay for that, but it has to be paid for, and so Europe has to pay for it. All the blood that has been on Europe's hands it's got to be paid for. And I don't care what these Gentiles run around talking about Jesus about, like Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And it's like, well, wait a minute, that name isn't even accurate. I mean, at this stage in the game, if you're unwilling to even recognize and accept that name is not accurate, then are you really leading people to the kingdom to come? Because see, that's the whole point. And the prize is the kingdom to come, is to get into the kingdom. The Gentiles say that the prize is to get into heaven. They don't. This is why the totality of their narrative has been shown. It's being destroyed. As we resonate and manifest our own, as individuals first, our own purification of our understanding as it relates and applies to the Father's will, to the Elohim's will, that includes all of them, okay? As it does, as we do this thing, it changes the cosmos. Look at the weather. Look at how the minds of these people have been changed. Look at how the government have been moved to a base bottom state, like they are no longer being seen as governors of anything. Their morality has been is not even questioned. Their morality, the totality of their morality has been shown to be, fool's gold. Their religious system's morality integrity has been shown to be fool's gold. And the Gentiles, the poor Gentiles who have been eating on this tree of knowledge of good and evil, being led by these immoral and without integrity people, are now lost at sea. Just like we were. We were blind. We were lost at sea. Some of us drowned, literally and figuratively. Many of us were murdered. Many of us fell off. They complain about, Sister Lisa Cabrera, as well as Brother Big Levi, spoke about the population decline of these Gentile nations. Well, I mean, when you put cowboyism as a thing to do, what in the filth, floor, and hell what do you think the outcome's going to be? They all running around doing things with a thing that is meant to exit, and you think that they're going to have children. You can't put a life seed in death in a place where it is to be waste, is to be exited. You can't think you're going to build a nation. You're not going to populate a world. I mean, this is what I'm saying. The totality of the Gentiles has been shown. It has been shown to be base men, base women. And, sadly, I will say that they brought that shit on themselves. And that really isn't my problem. They want to proclaim to, hey, we all in this. We all need to. No, they ain't never been no we. There ain't no we now. We are not we. We are not getting down with this. And it's not even about them as much as it is about the totality of us. Our totality. The freedom, we have been deburdened, if you will, to be able to be open and have the When I saw the eclipse, I was like, oddly, it was strange to me. It was a shadow going past a light source. Almost to me, like there was an opening, opening, and something moved past it. Now, what it is, I know it's a celestial body, moon, maybe, could be, maybe so. But what I saw was something moved between it, and it kind of was like, to me, sight. It was like something looked in, moved past, and moved on. Now, what that meant, we know, in terms of totality. And they were using these words, the totality of it, the totality of it. And I'm like, do you realize that totality has brought in your fullness? And your fullness now has shown that you are raggedy, and that you have no merit, and that you are not part of the kingdom to come. Like, you cannot be part of the kingdom to come within your totality of your system. The kids were like, oh, wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is, like the Doors. This is the end, my friend, this is the end. Like, they don't get that the time, like, time's up. And, as I pontificate and cogitate every day on the word and how it applies to my life, I find such a peace. I really do. Like, it's a peace that has, encompassed me. And it was getting there, but after this totality of the eclipse, it's gotten even more. It's like I'm shrouded in a shalom. Anything that comes up that's, trying to bust in my shalom and my peace and take it away, it doesn't work. And I find now that whenever I do whenever I do become emotional, where I'm feeling like something is trifling, and I got to and I'm feeling like I'm about to, curse a fool out. I feel like instead of me cursing them out, I'm feeling like now my words are just beating them. Like I'm browbeating people with words, and the words are so subtle and smooth that it brings peace to me as I'm saying it. And it's not even me saying it. I should say that it is the Father, which it's the Spirit of truth. And so as this totality has is ushering in the totality of the end of the Gentiles rule and the totality of the beginning of the kingdom to come, this is a fascinating time. Like I'm watching this thing move all over the place. I'm listening to brothers and sisters, you know, speak on things that we've never spoke on. I'm listening to, sometimes, there's some sisters and brothers out here. I got something in my eye. Sitting out here still dealing with the Christian insanity. And it's funny because now that the heathens and the Gentiles can't really come against us because their fullness is in, they have chosen to go get, our people who look like us to try to come against us. And I'm listening to them, and even in their totality of Jesus, all we need to do is love Jesus. The question still remains, well, who killed Jesus? Because your Jesus was murdered, wasn't he? Was not he murdered? And who murdered him? This ain't no Scooby-Doo mystery. It ain't no Scooby-Doo mystery who murdered him. The Edomite, Pharisees, and Rome. Like if you take the mask off of who murdered them, you're going to see the Edomites and Rome. I mean, this is why the totality has got them vexed. This is why the totality of this eclipse has shown them that they are not the people. Now Ish is over here crying the blues in Columbia University talking about these people are coming against us and I don't feel safe. Listen, over words? Over words. You don't feel safe over words? No one's beat you in the head. Nobody's buck broke you. Nobody's lynched you. Nobody's slit you in half, turned you over, cut your Johnson off, slice you open. Nobody's done that to you. So there is no fear for your safety. Jewish people. There's none. You can't make people go to jail because they don't believe that you're the people and they don't like what you do. I mean, this is why. So the next totality, in this totality of this Jubilee year, is Ish being shown who they are. That's why I'm saying that the Valley of Jehoshaphat's in Ukraine. It only makes sense. There's no other place. Where else would be a central location for these fools to jump off a war? Because mind you, the Ukraine ain't in no war-torn Ukraine. Kiev ain't in war. It ain't bombed or nothing. These fools have taken our money and their nightlife and their partying. They living high. They rolling. Picture me rolling. They over there Tupac and all eyes on me. And we over here struggling. We got people over here who can't pay their rent, can't pay their mortgage, can't, living on the street, struggling. Debt out the wazoo. But these immoral, non-integrity people are trying to keep the totality of their end obscure. Well, let me see if that's it'd be obscure. They're hiding it. And they're not hiding our totality, our manifestations, our resonance, our wisdom. They can't hide that. It's out the bag now. They're hiding the truth from their people. This is the totality of the yin and the yang, the beginning and the end. This is that line in between when change happens. It was sunny one day, or the day was sunny and hot, then it turned cold and dark. This is the in between, and in between, and when it changed, that's where we are. We're in that change, the totality of the change of the epoch, of the era. And I mean, we know a lot of information, we know a lot of truth, and we're still learning more every day. We have gained so much wisdom that now we can, like these scripts, now it makes sense. The scripts, the temple's in us, because the totality of the wisdom is in us. So as we speak, the words are in us. That we've eaten on. That's why when we listen to Stone and these other degenerate pastors, black, white, blue, green, when we listen to them, we know they're off from jump. And that's why they don't want to. We would have healed Babylon, but they turned the comments off. See, they don't want the comments because they know that they're trying to hide the truth from their people. So if we come onto the comments and start telling the truth, then they will be exposed. They're hiding, they're holding on as long as they can. And rightfully so, because they don't want their world to end, but their world will end sooner than later. Some brothers say 5 years, 3 years. Listen, I mean, it's already ended. In my opinion, it's already ended. I see daily, I'm looking at the spirits of people as I walk through the valley of death. I see their spirits, but it's not my business. So I move forward. So as I'm being put into a Goshen-like mindset of minding my business and dealing only with my business and the Father's business, everything else, it's like the Red Sea parting. I get off the little the trolley train, the light rail. I get off it. I walk, and it just parts for me. People just move out my way. Every day. Every day. So the totality of the moment of time that we are in has got the Gentiles vexed, because we're saying, hey, we're the children. We ain't worrying about you. Your business is your business. Don't come talking to us. We ain't worrying about you. So what do? Now they want to go all in on the Palestinians. They want to go all in on the students. They already all about cowboyism and cowgirlism. So now they are trying to stunt their entire growth of a world. They are doing it to themselves. This is the beauty of how the Spirit works. You are, self-reflected, self-corrected, self-convicted, and self-corrected. So these people in this world cannot do those three things. So therefore, what ends up happening is that when they miss the first two and they go to the last one and they got to self-correct on the fly and they can't take it, and they 988. This is what's happening. Or they go get some drugs. They want that bliss, right? That momentary bliss of ignorance, of away from the truth. And this is what they did to us. They did that to us. And rightfully so, it's now on their heads. The fullness, the totality of the Gentiles has come in. And I'm mad at them. That ain't my business, not my problem. My deal is to maintain and manifest positive energy around me. And it's a beautiful thing now, because now as I manifest these positives in my world, in my immediate world, in my life, I get more positives back. It used to be I would try to do something positive, and it shit. I get some negative. As soon as I did some positive, here come all the negative. So now I understand. I get it. The Father has shown me, the Elohim has shown me the way. And the Gentiles be like, well, Jesus is the only way. Well, that fella is not the only way, because first of all, we already established the fact that this is not a Scooby-Doo mystery, and that dude is not, a God. So his way is imposition by force. That's why Jesus' way. So he ain't the way. But Yahweh Shai has given me a bit of understanding of the way. The way is how we seek truth, seek the Father, seek love, and treat people right. Because the kingdom is not going to allow, the kingdom is alive. It's not going to allow you in if you ain't purified. And these heathens and Gentiles who are naked right now think that they're going to get in stanky. Like Velma Janky, No, you ain't getting in like that. And you think for a minute that we just going to let you slip in, like this a club that you just going to walk in talking about, yo, you know who I am? No, we don't know who you are. Matter of fact, we don't know who you are, but you've got to go through our patriarchs. Do they know you? And they go, the patriarchs. Then they don't know you. The gates are going to have the patriarchs, the 12 tribes, the 12 tribe patriarchs' names on it. So, Gentiles, how are you going to get in if you're not part of the 12 tribes? You have to be part of the 12 tribes to get in. The salvation is for the oppressed. Who's been the oppressed? The 12 tribes. Oh, well, everybody's been. No. Again, your totality has been your world view. So if you didn't gain during your worldview, that's, again, not my problem. Matter of fact, that's your problem. Something happened to where you were unable. Matter of fact, maybe within your inability to gain, you should have been dealing with us. You should have been hooking up with us and helping us. But instead, the poorer you were of the Gentiles, the worse you were to us. So now you got that on. You got that debt that you got to pay. Your family got to pay. They so busy trying to figure out how not to pay that they're racking up a bill that they're not going to be able to pay, but by blood. And this is the totality of their past. Their past totality, all of it, is the testimony and the case against them in the court of the Father, the holy court. That's why he said, hey, leave that middle of the temple for the Gentiles. Don't do nothing with it. That's theirs. Let them have it, because I'm going to judge them on what they do, what they've done, what they will do within their half, their portion of the temple. And they haven't done anything with it. They've trodden it down. That's what Yahweh said. They're going to trodden it down. They gave no reverence, no respect. And, that's fair that it was their turn. And they could do what they wanted to do within their totality of time. Now they all struggling because they think that, oh, well, shoot, I should have more time. I need more time. What do you need more time to do? Poison the air? Poison the water? Poison the land? The earthly mother is done with that. She's tired. The saints, the blood, the people, the innocent are tired. They've been screaming. And the Father's a mighty being, a mighty entity. And he took it on the chin. But when it is time, people say, well, my God is all love. Okay, that's fair. He everything that is done out of love. If a person mistreats you and you love them because for whatever reason you love them, you will want to help them get straight. Whether that's, you got to knock a fool out because they drunk, right? They drunk with power, drunk with lies, drunk with corruption. You got to knock them out for them to wake up. So love hurts at times. So, the Father isn't raising his hand. He's allowing balance to come. He's allowing the spiritual warfare to happen, because without it there's no purification. And people get upset. Well, what do you mean? No, the God is love. Jesus is love. You murdered him. You think for a minute that he's okay with that? Like nobody's got to pay for his murder? Well, the Jewish people rejected him and he destroyed it. No, but you giving the Jewish people all the money, the land, the weapons. But somehow you mad at them? See, the common sense of the Gentiles has lost its flavor. That's why we know what? Esau is the beginning and Jacob is the end. Esau's the end, Jacob's the beginning, whichever way you look at it. End is to be the beginning is to the end, as the end is to the beginning. So what we know is the totality of Esau is over. That's the representation of the X, of the eclipse. It's over. It's a wrap. It's done. And we see this with all what they're doing. I was looking today and, all of their markets are down. All of them are down, except I think the NASDAQ was up. You got Greg Mananero. Telling you, they already know that the thing is falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. But what they do is they go and say, well, you got to get this gold. You got to get that. Listen, you're not going to get our gold anymore. You're not going to get our resources anymore. Everything that you have, you will have to give up. You will have to give it all up to be able to feel safe. And that's where we're moving into now. The Gentiles are not going to feel safe. The Jews, those fake Jews, they sitting up there, their kids in schools and these colleges are trying to act like, they're scared for their safety. This is what's about to happen. The Christians are going to be like, well, we're scared for... But see, when the Christians get scared of their safety because of white Jesus, they go and they kill. They murder. That's why the Father has to push them off the land, get them over into a spot where they can be judged at one place. And that's the Ukraine. That's the Ukraine. And this year, and as all this is happening, and I know people, well, I don't know, maybe whatever, but this is a Jubilee year. All of the fake Jews and the fake Christians and all these people, they all acknowledge that the Jubilee, the last Jubilee, is 2024 to 2025. They want to say it starts Yom Kippur, whatever, in the fall. what else is happening? What's the application of what's happening in the fall? What's the totality of what's happening in the fall? People got to make a decision. They're going to make a decision on who is going to lead them. And as they do this thing, our nation, which is on the rise, will say, we are not being taken part of this. We don't want any more of your, matter of fact, we do not want to take part of the totality of your demise. And they're come this fall, when this election, they're going to see. They're going to see the Jubilee sets you free. The earthly mother is asking for freedom. She wants these people up off her land. Yahweh Shai wants freedom to come back and reign as king of his creation. The Father wants freedom of his people to have free will to love him and free will to treat each other right. But we have this scourge, this cancer, and we know who they are, those that say they are but are not, who's been kicked out of every nation, but somehow bamboozled these foolish Gentiles here that came into the fourth part to say that they can make money for them. And they have. With a whole lot of sedition, a whole lot of blackmailing, a whole lot of murder. This is why balance is here. This is the black horse. Remember, I said a while ago, they even messed that up. And they did it on purpose. The black horse is the last horse that rides. The black horse is riding. Why? Because the Negroes are rising up. They are riding. We are riding high right now. We are riding high right now. And they're like, who? I always say this, jokes, no jokes. Who is that nigga on that nag? This is like all these shows, even Fallout, everybody's Fallout. They're looking at this thing from an apocalyptic, negative thing, the new world. And even I was talking to Brother Leon, even the story is that they come out of caves. We say caves, but they come out of a vault. In this vault, they were like, oh, everything's all groovy. Everything's great. It's, it's 100. We in here doing this so we can think. We got free will. We can do everything we want to do. Blah, 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 blah. The world is great. But then they leave this cave. They leave this vault and they go into the real world and they see that it is nothing as they knew, as they were told. And they are getting murdered. They're getting destroyed. They've got to do things to survive. But wait, I thought that they were going to, they try to get to heaven. I thought that they were going to get a rapture and be able to get out of here. So wouldn't you think, if this was the case, that they are the people, the church is the replacement of the people, and Ish are the replacement of the people, wouldn't their minds, wouldn't we be seeing shows? Wouldn't they be putting on their la vision, things that are worthy of salvation? Wouldn't they do that? I mean, wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't you want to bring forth righteousness if you are the replacement of the people? Because the people are to bring forth righteousness. That's the story. Don't get hung up on Paul. Don't get hung up on the New Testament, supposedly, in quotes, aka New Testament. And I will say, yeah, you're right. The New Testament is the totality of your testimony, because you were given the opportunity to bring the light to the world, because our people foiled themselves. Our people went off. We acted a straight donkey. We didn't do what we needed to do. And the Father put us down, put the Gentiles on top, to be a light, to bring salvation to the world, to show that they were supposed to do something. But they didn't do it. Matter of fact, they never wanted to do that. They just wanted to murder, kill, and destroy. And matter of fact, that's the story. And I'm not saying that these people were given our charge. No, they were not. But they were given the charge to rule in righteousness, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. And that's what was written. Every son of Noah had an opportunity to rule. Every one of them. The sons of Noah's offspring, every one of them had an opportunity to rule. And for a time, not the son of Noah, right? Because Enoch's not the son of Noah, but there was righteous rule. There was a standard of righteousness for a time. But because fairness, balance, and justice had to prevail, because that's how our Father is, how our Elohim is, he had to allow all the sons of Noah, because Noah was the one that was given the charge, because, everybody else prior to Noah had to go. So now we're in this end of all that. It's done. The totality of the book is done. Now we are manifesting the next phase. The next phase is the kingdom to come. Don't miss that. All the history, all the dumb shit that these people have done, all the crazy that we've done, everything that has happened, it doesn't matter for us. It matters for the Father, because the recompense is for the Father to get, not us. We're going to gain based on the contract, the covenant we gain. So the Father saying, well, I've given everybody a chance to rule. I gave you a chance to rule, Esau. I gave you a chance to rule, Japhet. I gave you a chance to rule. As a matter of fact, I didn't even give you the chance to rule Ashkenaz. You took it. So because you took it, you're going to pay, Amalek. You're going to pay deeply, because you have done a grievous thing. Now, you Edomites and you Gentiles from the Neanderthal bloodline, those that were created obscurely from the truth, from the people, from me, I may give you peace. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. But what I know is the Father's going to bring balance. He's bringing it now. I see a lot of Gentiles getting up talking about, there's got to be a different way. We've got to be able to bring love into the world. We've got to do this. We got to do this the right way. Well, all that may be true, but your time is up. So now what you need to do is you need to tell the truth. You need to say, hey, here's the deal. These Negroes that we have had in derision, that we have treated like shit the entire time under our rule, these are the people of the book. We need to make amends and repent for what our forefathers have done, for what we do and how we think about other people. And maybe, just maybe, we may get in. But they won't do that. Only a very small few will do this thing the right way. And that's also to be expected, right? It's to be expected. Where is it? What am I looking at? This is Jeremiah 49. It's 49. Concerning the Ammonites, thus saith the Lord, thus saith Yahushua, hath Israel no sons? Hath he no heir? Why then doth their king inherit Gad, and his people dwell in his cities? Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahushua, that I will cause an alarm of war to be heard in Rabbah of the Ammonites, and it shall be desolate, a desolate heap, and her daughters shall be burned with fire. Then shall Israel be heir unto them that were his heirs, saith Yahushua. So things like the Gentiles look at these scriptures, these words, and they say, oh, well, that happened then. What they're not understanding is that everything that happened then is happening now and will not happen in the future, or will happen in the future when the kingdom comes. And even then, he says that there will be some rebels. So we know that there's going to be some sort of cancer still in the kingdom. Okay, so the purge is going to be like 99% purified. But the Father, before he comes and sits on the throne here, he needs it to be 100% purified. He don't come where there's a piece of dirt, filth. So, this is what, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I read today that they had found these, in Guatemala, they found this place where by this pyramid, where they found next to this pyramid this mass grave of burnt ancient artifacts and some bodies, and various jewels. And after they dug it up, of course, because that's what they do. But I was chuckling to myself because the article seemed to imply that the people did this, and they said that this was around the same time that a new king had come from the old kingdom. There was a change where an old kingdom and a new kingdom began. Okay, and so I got to thinking that, of course they're going to say that this was the people that did it, when in fact this was them that did it. This was them coming into Guatemala in the beginning, 1492, 1500s, and burning and killing these people, taking what they could and moving on. This was the Europeans. So again, they're telling on themselves. So as I read these scripts, it's like it's the same thing that they did then during scriptural times. They did in the 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, even the 1900s. Nothing new. This is 49 and 3. How, O Heshbon, for Ai is spoiled. Cry, Ai, is spoiled. Cry, ye daughters of Rabbi. Gird you with sackcloth, lament, and run to and fro by the hedges, for the king shall go into captivity, and his priests and his princes together. Wherefore glorious thou in the valleys, thy flowing valley, O backsliding daughter, that trusted in her treasure, saying, who shall come unto me? Behold, I will bring a fear upon thee, saith Yahushua, for from all those that be about thee, and ye shall be driven out every man right forth, and none shall gather up him that wandereth. This is what's going to happen to them. And afterwards I will bring again the captivity of the children of Ammon, saith Yahushua. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahushua, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? See, this is exactly where I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. It's like everything that has gone on is going to happen to them. It's just going to be a more modernized situation than it was then. There may be some variants of change, but Edom's still going to be, there's going to be pain and suffering. And they act like, well, God is love and God don't want to kill and murder. No, he doesn't. But in order to purify and cleanse, something has to go. I mean, he's not doing it, but Michael will, Gabriel will, Yahushua will. I mean, they will do it righteously, because every time these Gentiles have destroyed our people and people in general, the creation, let's say creation. Why? Because the creation is people, land, air, and sea. So every time that these Gentiles have ran around the earth destroying it and the inhabitants thereof, I mean, somebody got to pay for that. So what the Father just gonna be like, well, you know what, I love everybody, so I'm just gonna give everybody a pass. But then what about the saints crying out? What about the land crying out? I mean, the land cries out. Didn't the blood of Abel cry out through the land? Didn't the land allow Abel's blood to cry out through the land to the Father? Wasn't it a conduit for truth? Doesn't the wind blow, the Erkadashi blow truth and blow these things down? Doesn't fire burn these things up? These are all elemental from the Father. So he might not, I would venture to say that if the Father gets up off his throne and has to come down and throw down on man, it's probably not even a fair fight, which I'm sure it's not. But if he got to do it, I don't think that anything will stand it, right? So yeah, he ain't doing it. He loves everybody. He wants everything righteous. But because of man's free will and their corruption, because, the Gentiles, they want to blame everything. Oh, the devil made me do it. Oh, the devil made me do it. Listen, you did it because you wanted to do it. You did it because you felt it the right thing to do. You did it because you thought this was righteous. We got to kill these niggas. These niggas ain't nobody. They're beasts. They're not even Christians. They can't get into heaven. This was a righteous act that they did. So don't you think that righteous vengeance has to be upon them? Not from us, but from the spiritual realm. Of course. Like, this isn't of course. It's rhetorical, but it's of course it's got to. This is the karmatic. This is the karma. This is the balance. The balance of weights. Balance of fairness, balance of justice. You think that nobody's going to pay for Emmett? You don't think that those old white men are paying right now for Emmett Till? You think that, listen, the Ish people are going to pay if they do not repent, they're going to pay, I would venture to say 10 times. Because they got so much modern blood on their hands in 80 years that, and I'm sure there was more over the last 300, 400, over the last 400 years. You know how much blood they got on their hands? And they want to act like, people want to, well, we're the chosen people. You guys need to, put some respect on it. Nigga, what are you chosen? What are you chosen to do? What are you chosen to be? Are you the chosen? Honestly, ask yourself, Jewish people, are you the chosen? And what are you chosen to do? Because it would seem to be a situation where if you were a chosen people, you would not be murdering, stealing, killing, blackmailing, lying. You wouldn't be doing that. If you were the chosen people, you wouldn't be blowing people up. You wouldn't be telling everybody, we chosen, that's why we can kill, steal, and destroy. You wouldn't be doing that. And Christians, if you were chosen, you wouldn't be talking about race. You wouldn't be mad. You would repent for the history of your people. I just got a notification. Brother Judah is talking about the students. This is what I'm saying. Like everything we are doing right now is manifesting in the collective consciousness. I think that at this stage in the game, there's not a whole lot that we can bring forth out of scriptures because we've eaten them. You know, we've been eating these scripts and they're mighty fine and mighty tasty. We've been eating on them a long time. And a lot of people don't quite understand how we are what we are, how we're doing what we're doing, how we are what we are, and how we are operating right now. They're mesmerized at us. I mean, shoot, I've been playing soccer since I was 6 years old. I'm 54. And the Father has allowed me through this talent to do this thing. But I also feel my body is saying, hey, you know what? Do you really need do we really need to continue this? You know? But the Father's given me the opportunity to do it for so long. Like this is a skill. And this now is so the totality of my being is coming into fruition. Everything is happening now for and about us in such a way that we have surpassed the Gentiles in every which way. In every which way. And you know what? It's to be expected. Balance is here. The black horse is riding with the weights and the scales. Saying that's imbalance. You know, these cops are getting hemmed up. The totality, the fullness of the Gentiles has come in, right? So the police are getting caught doing their things. Hollywood is being caught doing it. They got Taylor Swift making diss tracks. Talking about Kim Kardashian, whatever the hell her name is, that whore. Talking crazy, like we don't see that all she did was call Kim and say, I'm going to do this and we going to make this money to be relevant. They got, you know, every time you look at the TV, they all want to stay relevant. The other totality. The pharmaceutical company came out with Ozempic, which is a diabetic drug to help the people that are diabetic, dire diabetics, to lose weight. But what did these degenerates do? They ran out and bought them all up. And now they are all sunken face. And the deal is that when you start this drug, you can't get off of it. It'll provide problems if you get off of it when you start it. So Oprah, all of them bought all of it to lose weight for vanity's sake. So we ask the question, why do the heathens rage? And imagine a vain thing. Because this is who they are. They are no better than a beast. And a beast is better than them. That's the irony. They are so vain that they are willing to poison themselves. They are so vain. They're willing to poison the air. They are so vain. They are willing to poison the land. They are so vain. They are willing to kill and eat people. That last piece of it is just my take on it, because I see what they do. And this is the totality of their actions. And a lot of people are, they don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about their fullness. Oh, well, the Gentiles, the fullness. What's the fullness? Oh, there's going to come a point in the future when the fullness. No, the fullness is now, son. Now. The future is now. Yesterday's the past. Today's the future from yesterday. Today, even though it's our present now, it was yesterday's future. So you know what? Totality is here. Totality is here. And it's a beautiful thing. I ask the Father every day, every night for justice. Because if not us, then who? If not me, then who? Who gonna ask for justice? This is what we want. We want justice so that we can usher in our kingdom, so that we can be at peace, so that we can no longer be under a rulership, be governed by degenerates, by reprobates, by people who are base. And you know what? This is where we're headed. And it's even today, we can see it. So I give all thanks and praise to the Father. Like, I am not one to not wake up giving praise and thanks and praise. I'm not one to go to bed without doing it. I see this thing happening so fast, because it is this eclipse totality has them vexed. It's rocking them right now. They even got their big old pastors out there talking about, oh, nothing happened. Well, yeah, it did. It's happened in the psyche. It's a psychological, spiritual warfare, and the Gentiles have lost the plot. They've lost the game. And I'm very thankful for that, because I for one, am tired of living under their rule. I mean, you go into debt, get a job, go to school. I should say you get from under the shelter of your parents to go to school, to get into debt, to get into the workforce, to get into debt, to work to if you can keep the job, you work until you're 72. They're increasing the age now to 72. So you're going to work till 72, which the mortality rates show that most people only live to, 75, 80. And so you retire, you think you put away some money just to die, and then somebody else gets it. So all your hard work was for naught. This is the Gentiles mentality. And if you bust your ass and work hard, you're not guaranteed anything. There's no guarantees under this rulership. There's none. But shit, they got all the guarantees for them. In their, the governors of this world. And I want justice to find them. And I want them to weep for justice. I want them crying for justice, as justice is beating them in the head, beating them to the ground. And not physically, but mentally. This is what I want. That's not what I want from everyone, and that's not me just wanting it, out of spite. No, I want that to happen so that we can move to the kingdom to come, because that has to come first. They have to go through tribulation. I want that to come to them. And that's why I continue to self-reflect, self-convict, self-correct. That's what I do. And, who the hell am I? Nobody. I just know that the Father said, speak what I tell you. And that's what I do. But all praises to our Father, our Mother, and our brother. All praises. Shalom.